Hi, I'm Traci Lords. Come check me out in the Launch Cinema where I'm going to be talking about my new movie Blade, where I play a vampire. They would say, okay, Traci Lords to the set, so-and-so, Donald Logue to the set, and we'd know. We'd be like, no! Because you'd have to walk down a hallway, and they had these sprinklers that jetted out the side, and basically they'd go, okay, talent is coming to set, and talent had to walk through the hallway, and it would squirt blood all over you, fake blood, and you would be doused in this scoopy, sticky, disgusting substance. All day long, you had to wear it. From Blade, I went on to do a series called Profiler. And in both shows, the movie and my series, there was a lot of blood involved. And so I would go and do these scenes in Blade, and I'd be covered in it, and you'd wash off, but you'd be stained. And your t-shirt would always, somehow you'd always get it on your real clothes. And in Profiler, I would murder people on the show, and I would be driving home, and I'd be exhausted. We'd shoot for like 15, 16 hours days. And so I would just like wash up real quick and drive home, and I'd always look like I had just killed someone. And I'd be thinking, okay, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving kind of weird because I'm tired. If I get pulled over right now, how am I going to explain this? Uncle Buck, I think, is one of my favorite movies. I love John Candy. I think John Hughes is brilliant. I mean, that to me is genius. It's so funny, that film. Just the things that the kids say when Macaulay Culkin was really a little boy. And I'm busting my hump and I'm earning my keep, and just the stuff that the kids say and the way that it's directed, I think is really, really brilliant. I think it does take your whole life to make your first album, and then it takes the rest of your life to get over making your first album. You're like, what was I thinking? But, I mean, having said all that, I really do like my first record. I'm not knocking it. It's just, it's amazing. It's like looking back at your first film. It's, or your first TV show. My God. When I look at them now and I'm like 19 with like Al Bundy, and I'm like, you know, wow. The first song I ever wrote when I was 10 was inspired by like Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, and AC/DC, and you know, those were the things I was listening to when I ran away from home when I was like 12 to go to the US Festival. You know, I still remember all of that. You know, my sister and I, come on, get out the window quick before Mom comes back. You know, music was the thing. But I mean, now I love the Eagles. I mean, I've always loved the Eagles. I always loved the Eagles, and I loved Ozzy Osbourne, and I loved Black Sabbath, and I was into the Thompson Twins. It didn't make sense. I was really young. I was like 5, and I felt sure that I should be Blondie. You know, it had to work. I thought she was amazing. I think that the women were really, to me, it was like Pat Benatar. I thought she was amazing. And, you know, Annie Lennox and Debbie. It was really all about Blondie. It was all about Debbie Harry. You know, I wanted to be Debbie Harry. I thought she was the coolest. I don't know. I was sort of fascinated by hair. You know, Farrah Fawcett with her, I had my full Farrah and Jack Lord had really good hair because he had that big wave and it never moved, and he was on a speedboat, and it was, later I found out his hairdresser told me that he put glue in it to keep it from moving. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I had heard. And then Debbie Harry always had the dark roots in the back. So it was all about like the hair. When Johnny Rotten had like the cool spikes. I mean, it was all about the hair. I'm surprised I didn't become a hairdresser, actually. I've been looking for a hairless cat. My boyfriend has allergies to cats, long-haired cats. So I'm looking for a bald cat, should you happen to see any. They're really, really freaky looking. Yeah, yeah, I'm online looking for a bald kitty. Please email me. I think that the frightening thing about the internet is child pornography on the internet, because it's so hard to police, it's so hard to control, and everything that I did was child pornography. It wasn't something that I did when I was older. So every time that happens, there are different lawsuits and cases and criminal proceedings, and it really complicates my life. It really, you know, brings back stuff that I would just rather not deal with. It's not that I'm trying to pretend it never happened, because I can't, but it's not something that I want out there. I think it is wrong to have pictures of 4- and 5-year-old kids, just as I think it is wrong to have pictures of me when I was 15. So I'm very offended by it. I wish people would really think about what they're doing. I think that whole part of it is pretty twisted and pretty sick, and people can be pretty twisted and pretty sick. I think that it's sad. You know, it does bother me a great deal. But as far as like looking myself up on the internet, there are so many bizarre things I've heard about, like Traci Lords for president, Traci Lords for Congress. I mean, there are all kinds of things that are so bizarre.